Does it work? There we go. Thanks.
As we go to Workshop.
Good evening to you all. My name is Divine Mahara, and with me is Mater. Mater. So tonight we're gonna play some music for you. Thank you.
Yeah, that's fine. Let's do this. Evening, everybody. Evening. Yeah, cool. Evening, everybody. Can I ask everybody at the bar to charge your glasses? No, it's okay. You can pour yourself a mega pint and come find some seats in the front here. There's a few empty spaces. Evening, everybody, and welcome to all of you who've braved the waterfront and the traffic to get out here on this very auspicious day, the 1st of December, 2022. My name is Fred Rode. I'm the founder of Heavy Chef. You may have noticed that that song that just played was called the Heavy Chef song, primarily because Divine sang, the lyrics go, heavy chef, heavy chef, heavy chef, heavy chef. Heavy chef, heavy chef, heavy chef. I did commission it, and I think Divine has done a great job. So please can we give it up for Divine Mahara. And Divine and Matei, where's Matej? I think he's in the back there. So Matej comes from Slovenia, and he will tell you, if you speak to him, that Slovenia is the only country with love in the name. So can we give it up for Matej? And so I just want to tell you guys, before I hand over to the agenda tonight and get cracking with really what you came for, but just to give you a little bit of a tiny hint of what it is that we do. So Heavy Chef, for those of you, I think most of you by now know who we are. Thank goodness. That means that we're doing a good job in our branding. But our core belief is that entrepreneurs can change the world for the better. And I think we're going to see a little bit of the proof of that in action tonight. We're a learning platform for entrepreneurs. And our whole mission is to create entrepreneur education and to make it as equitable and as accessible to entrepreneurs everywhere, as far and wide as possible. We aim to inspire people to start new businesses and then empower them to succeed. And we do that by what we call learning bites. And we say we provide recipes for entrepreneurs. So the name is kind of like we didn't want to call ourselves the Entrepreneur Academy or the business school or something like that. So it's really about making it fun, making it exciting, making it relevant, making it targeted, making it resonant for the entrepreneurs in our community. And I just want to share a little bit about the year that's been, because it's been a pretty good year. Since we launched the learning platform, we've created over 2,000 learning bites that range from technology to leadership to creativity, which we feel are the three pillars, I suppose, of the entrepreneur curriculum. We have over 1,200 entrepreneurs on the learning platform, which is just, thank you, Verity. Woo! And we have a community of over 40,000 entrepreneurs and SME owners. So it's just such a privilege to serve such a dynamic and powerful group of people who are scrappy, who are earnest, who are intentional, and essentially are not afraid of getting stuck into the trenches and making a difference. So it's in terms of the privilege, I guess, it has allowed us to meet some incredible people. So people like Professor Cass Sunstein, the author of Nudge, President Thabo Mbeki, President Olusegun Obasanjo, Sean Thompson, the world champion surfer, Roxy Davis, Sir Martin Sorrell, Nunu Tsingila, Aisha Pandor, Katlechop Mapai, Xolisa Diashana, Sio Kolisi, Riyad Musa, DJ Spoo, Youngster CPT, Zulani Mahola, Mo Flavor, DJ Fresh, Sam Paddock, Robbie Brosen, Albi Sachs, Dr. Teddy Bletcher, Maps Mapignani, and many, many more. And those are the famous ones, but we've also interviewed and captured the recipes of people that you maybe don't know and you haven't heard of. People like Colin Mkosi, who started his startup is based out of Lange and is employing 20 bicycle riders working on WhatsApp, delivering the last mile delivery of goods to the gogos and people within his community, and providing not only an essential service, but also employment for people who just really are appreciative of that employment. People like Nonklankla Joy, or Ma Joy, as she made me, she told me that I need to speak to her because she said, you young people, you need to speak with respect to your elders. Meanwhile, she's like 2 years older than me. And so, and she runs Umgibe, which is a startup outside of Durban in just outside of Belito. And she was, she was diagnosed with pretty progressive cancer about 7 years ago. She decided that that's not her story. She fought the cancer. She started Umgibe. She's now employing 45 people. And 2 years ago, I believe it was 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, she was named World Female Entrepreneur of the Year. And her startup is exporting goods to countries across Africa. And we need to be telling these stories. And so this is why it's so important, right? And today's a bit of it's also a bit of an inauspicious day because those of you who are traveling here might have seen the news and your social media feeds going absolutely crazy. And it looks like our country's in for a little bit of upheaval over the next couple of days and weeks. And so what's happening in this room is essentially, I think, where much of the answer lies. Obviously not all of it, but much of it. And I think this is where the conversations that happen tonight, the interactions, the engagement between all of you is really, really important. And obviously we are here to celebrate the shortlisted nominees and obviously the winners of the top 5. But at the same time, I think there's such a powerful pool of people within these 4 walls. And so don't leave without saying hello to somebody, introducing yourself to somebody. There's investors in the room. There's startup entrepreneurs in the room. There's there's partner channels. There's all kinds of opportunities sitting right next to you. So I do encourage you to engage, have a glass of wine if you're a little bit socially anxious, because many of us entrepreneurs we like our screens, and so this is your opportunity to step out. I just want to say a few thank yous before I step off the stage. First of all, to our judges, some of whom are here tonight, to Carla, Colleen, Mark, Lucanio, Zinkle, Kanye, Robin, Rob. You guys had to sift through 500 plus entries and a lot of diverse explanations of all of the startups that entered this year. And just thank you for your time, your energy, and for your commitment to the cause. I want to say there's a few of the Faithful to Nature women entrepreneurs provided by Zero and Workshop17 earlier in the year. And I want to say a massive thank you to our core partners who've supported us for so long in terms of this mission and who are totally aligned with the mission of empowering and inspiring entrepreneurs, particularly Zero, Colin Collar, Susie Shane, Sarah. You guys have just been amazing. It's just been such an incredible journey to walk alongside you, and thank you for that journey. And Pay Fast, the hooligan crew, Colleen, Lukman, I'm not going to go through all the names because it's going to take forever, and I can see the foot tapping. We've got the Ex Nihilo crew at the back there, so Athena and Mark and Jenna and the whole crew. Thank you guys for all the love and support and for the inspiration in terms of your values and teaching us about values. Workshop 17, Penny, Paul, the whole crew. Zakes and Abongile at the back. We see you guys. Well done. Thank you for all the support. Capitalize, Alex, Victoria, John, Loyola, Whipping the Cat, Graham. Unfortunately, he couldn't be here. He's a big, studious, loyally looking guy. Whipping the Cat is a fantastic legal firm with a strange name, but they rock. Baxberg, Simon, Bianca, Sir Fruit, the Baker Brothers, the incredible Baker Brothers. If you haven't yet seen it, look at the Baker Brothers recipe on Heavy Chef. It kicks ass. Just such an inspiring story. Goodleaf, Warren, Mark, and the crew, Creed Living. Global Citizen, we also did some work this year with Psycha, Matt. He's just a very extroverted guy, so I'm going to ask him to stand at jokes. I'm not going to. Matt, I could feel you squirming wherever you are, so there you are. So go and say hi to Matt later, because he's the most sociable guy in the room. So, and the tech team, TechX, Paolo, Philip, thanks for providing such a great support. And also the Heavy Chef team, the crew who just behind the scenes making it all work. We have had such a phenomenal year, just pushing out so much content, so much good work, hosting all these incredible events, and trying to wrangle all the people that we put on the platform. It's kind of like herding cats a lot of the time. Much of that is due to the team, Juja, Zinkler, Randall, Bronwyn, Zola, Mo, Siobonga, Lucanio, Yolandi, Charmaine, Louis. You might have also noticed, by the way, if there's any foreign investors here, South Africa is pretty cool with child labor. So we had Chrissy, Helena, Regan, and Sienna who were scanning you guys in. Those are my kids, so I don't pay them a lot. We are also a startup, just saying. So, and I just want to say also a very big thank you to my brother, my friend, Divine Mahara, and Zunaid. Love you guys. I love the music, and I love what you guys do, and just the light that you bring to any room. And I encourage everybody just to go and have a look at Divine's music on pretty much all the channels, Spotify, Apple, and so on and so forth. And he has a new song, which I hope that Divine's going to play after all of this and regale us with some of the good tunes, with some questionable lyrics. I don't know. Go and check it out on YouTube. So I'm not going to mention the lyrics. I think he thought I would, but you can check it out. And then, now, just for the main event, I just want to, before I step off stage, I want to thank particularly Verity for the second year in a row. Verity Price, who's going to be the MC for tonight. I'm very, very proud to call Verity my friend for a long time, like 30 years or so. And she's also an extremely talented consultant, change management professional, a singer as well, and who also happens to be the world champion of public speaking for 2021, the first ever out of Africa, and only the sixth woman in 80 freaking years. To win the Toastmasters. And by the way, that's out of 35,000 entrants around the world from all the different chapters. It's no small feat. It is a huge deal for South Africa. And also kind of, I mean, you can talk about the next winner and all that kind of stuff. But just give it up for Verity Price. And thank you, guys.
Oh, thank you, Fred. Wow, hello. This is so exciting. Last year there was about 30 people and that we weren't allowed anyone in the room. So just give yourselves a round of applause for being here in the room, ready to share. I must say, while Fred was going through all those thank yous, what stood out for me was, what do you think your day would be like if you woke up every morning and had to rattle through all the people that are supporting you, that are helping you, that are making your journey in life that much easier? How cool do you think your day would be? I was just listening to that going, wow, this is incredible. If we could just bring more gratitude, more acknowledgement into our lives, and especially when things, the roller coasters keep coming, it makes such a difference. And just before we got on stage, Fred was like, are you good? And I was like, yes. And I'm like, are you good? Yes. And then he looked at me and he said, well, whatever happens, it'll be a memory. So I think that's how Heavy Chef started. It's like, whatever happens, it'll be a memory. And tonight we are here to make memories. And I'm so excited. Are you excited? Everyone's like a bit nervous, like, oh, what's the result going to be? But I also want to give a shout out to Divine. How divine is his music? Sorry that I have to do the play on words. A few things about Divine. He comes from Zimbabwe. I also come from Zimbabwe, so there's like a bit of a connection there. He has just released a brand new single on all the platforms, so please download it. It is called Waka Naka. How cool is that word? Just say that with me, Waka Naka. Now turn to the person next to you and with meaning and love in your eyes, say Waka Naka. And say it to the next person. Say it to the other person next to you. Waka Naka. Waka Naka. Do you know what you just said? I know you're worried about questionable lyrics, but Waka Naka is Shona for you're beautiful. Isn't that lovely? Isn't that beautiful? And another thing that's beautiful is that he's not only releasing singles, early next year, he and his beautiful wife will be releasing a beautiful new baby into the world. Woohoo! And so now I'd like to teach you your second Shona word for the day, and then I'm finished teaching you languages. Are you good to learn one more Shona word? Because I think we need to give them a shout out for the music, for the inspiration, for the new life. And I just want you all to say, Makorokoto. Okay, try that again. You're learning a new language. I know this is not easy for you, but just try it one more time. Makorokoto. You have just said congratulations. Woohoo! So Divine, we look forward to hearing you later. It's going to be amazing. Okay, so we're excited. Are there some nerves in the room? Yeah, like what are the results going to be? Back in August last year, I was in this room, excited and nervous. It was the first time in a 7-month journey after entering this crazy international contest of 35,000 people from 149 countries. It was the first time I was actually going to watch one of the contests with friends. We could have 50 people in the room at that stage. And I had made it against all odds into the top 8 in the world. I was the only woman left. And I was the only speaker from Africa. So if you could have seen this place, people were in their Madiba shirts. We had Waka Naka hadn't come out yet. So we had Waka was on standby just in case I won. My sister and brother-in-law had dusted off the vuvuzela. I mean, it looked like a 2010 World Cup reunion in here. And then we had to sit through an agonizing hour of watching all the final speeches. It's a bit like the hour you're about to sit through before you hear who's won. We had to sit through that waiting to hear, and eventually it got to that kind of gut-wrenching moment of like, what are they going to say? And everyone was clenching hands and holding their breath and hearts were beating, and I could hear all my friends, Verity Price, just say it. And then we heard those words. I mean, it is life-changing, and we're going to have some people here today who hear those words. And the winner is. And we partied like it was 2010. Waka Waka went on. We jawled on the stage. It was the most incredible experience. And yes, it was a win for me, and I worked bloody hard to get it, as all our nominees have been working in their businesses to be here tonight. But it was also a win for Africa. As Fred said, in 80 years, no one from Africa had ever won. I was the 6th woman to ever win. And this year, in the World Finals, the new world champion is from Zimbabwe. Makoro Koto! Woohoo! So this really is a room where I believe we break ceilings. It's where we push boundaries. It's where we get to hear about the amazing things that are happening. And so this is really what we're here today, to celebrate the businesses that are making a positive impact on our economy, that are driving social change and having the impact that we want to see happening in our society. And so I'm sure you're sitting here and everyone, have you got like a name in your mind of who you're hoping is going to be in the top 5? Have you got it? Okay, so we're just going to put it out there. I mean, I'm not going to mention the certificates are already printed and someone knows who the winners are, but just in case you can change things behind glass, I want you to just hold that intention of who you're hoping is going to win. And on the count of 3, let's just shout that startup's name out into the room just to make sure that they know that we're rooting for them. So whoever you are wanting to win, 1, 2, 3. Woo! Can we print some more certificates, Fred? Okay, beautiful. So let's get into the nuts and bolts of tonight and what it's all about and the criteria for having made the top 12. And it's no mean feat. As Fred said, they had over 500 nominees that were put in. And you know, we're looking for businesses that are showing innovation, they're showing scalability, and they must have their own IP. Now, we're not looking at financials. It obviously helps if you're doing well, but we're looking for that intention to make a difference and to have that positive social impact. But there's some parameters. They need to have been trading for less. Are you enjoying the husky voice? Is it working for you? It's a bit disconcerting for me, but we'll keep going. Right. They must have been trading for less than 7 years. They need to be registered as businesses in South Africa, and they must have at least one South African founder. So those are the criteria. And unfortunately, in those hundreds of entries that we get, not everyone fits the criteria. Sometimes you get incredible businesses, but they've been trading for more than 7 years. Or you get incredible businesses, and their names are Google, Amazon, Apple. These are businesses that someone nominated. So please check the criteria when you're nominating next time. These are not South African startups. But you know where I'm going with that. But over the years, this award has seen so many incredible startups be recognized and celebrated. We've had winners like Yoko, Jumo, Sweep South, Mama Money, Easy Equities. Last year we had Livestock Wealth, Volunteer Institute. I could go on, but out of all of these, they've gone on to do incredible work. We've had some of them become unicorns. Some of them have been able to achieve acclaimed exits, all those things that we look forward to when we start a business. But again, what matters is that every single one of them is positively impacting our economy. And as Fred said, that starts in this room. Regardless of what's happening in things that are out of our control, that's the impact that we as entrepreneurs get to have. So I think you'd agree that when you... I'm just going to have a sip of water. Hold on. Whoa, it's a lot of speaking tonight. I think you'll agree that it can't be easy to be a judge when you get that many entries. And Fred's already given a shout out to our judges, but I want to mention them all by name because they have taken hours out of their busy lives with a lot on their plates because of their passion for what the startup space is to really make sure that the best top 12 nominees are here tonight. And they're not looking at your financials, they're not looking at your targets, your pitch deck, your market size, your investment. They are looking for businesses that are trying to change the world. And they have to make that decision from a gut place, from an intuition, and based on the submissions they get. So let's give a huge makorokoto and wakanaka to our judges. We have Robin Smith from Faithful to Nature. Wakanaka makorokoto. Nokukanya Mansweba from Matawi. Wakanaka makorokoto. Rob Paddock from Volunteer Institute. I'm loving this. Colleen Harrison from Payfast. Carla Thiel from Zero. Mark Peddle from Ex Nihilo. It's a long list, only 2 left to go. Zinhle Novazi from Heavy Chef. Woohoo! and Lucanio Near from Heavy Chef. Yay! Oh, I'm loving the energy. This is good. This is what I'm looking for. Okay, so we're going to get to who they are. I'm going to put you out of your misery soon, but we do have a few speeches to go. And before we go through our nominees, and each one I'm going to ask them to come up onto stage and receive a little thank you, because making the top 12 is huge. And we really want to acknowledge that. But I've really been thinking about this term, startup. Like, why do we call them startups? And if we break it down into the two words, it starts to make a lot of sense. Because the only reason they're here tonight is because they started. It's because they said yes to a crazy idea that might have felt improbable, it might have felt impossible, but they said, why not? Let's make some memories. I'm sure they said that at some point. Fred, I'm taking that. But they said yes, they started. And starting anything means that you have to be prepared to flirt with failure. It is not guaranteed. And I know when I entered that contest last year, like the chances of winning were infinitesimal. But I was like, I'm here for the growth. You know, sometimes our ego wants the win and our soul wants the growth. But when we choose that growth, when we start, the next part is to show up and to keep up and not to give up. And again, everyone is here because they've hit obstacles and challenges and they haven't given up. So let's give them a round of applause. And I mean, on that note, that's always your choice, especially as entrepreneurs. You can encounter an obstacle and you can give up, or you can get creative. Yeah? Which is the better option? Giving up, getting creative? It's not a trick question. Getting creative, yeah? So a few years ago, I was touring the Western Cape for Standard Bank. They asked me to be a speaker. They were visiting all the schools in the area to talk to young school leavers about their opportunities to study, and I was a little bit of rah-rah motivational speaker. At the time, I was crowdfunding an album. I was asking people to buy an album that I hadn't recorded. Now, I need to put this into context. This was 2006, so we now call what I was doing crowdfunding. In 2006, they called it crazy. Like, no one had ever done that before. And I was, I'd sold 2,000 copies of Nothing in 25 countries around the world, and suddenly I was speaking on innovation and how to challenge your thinking. And they said, come speak to the kids about dealing with the fact that life's difficult and, you don't want them to give up. We want them to get creative. And so it was very interactive, and I'd say, if you hit an obstacle in your life, you have a choice. You can give up or you can. Okay, they were 17. They had a little bit more hope. So let's just try this again. If you hit obstacles in your life, you can give up or you can. There we go. And after a few glasses, it's going to get even more creative. So it worked really well in every school I went to. And it was like my little Tony Robbins moment. So, like I'm a speaker, I have to have those moments every now and then. And then I got to a school in Pardon Island. And so the kids there come from the rough side of life. It's tough. And in Cape Town, sometimes there's a kind of a giveaway sign as to whether someone comes from the rough side of life or not. And that's how they walk into a room. And do you know this walk? I can't do it in high heels, but you get the vibe. There's like this, who's this white girl? Come to speak to me about my dreams. So I'm thinking, oh my word, I look like a Constantia housewife. I must now go and stand on this stage and go, life is hard. They're like, do you think we haven't noticed? So I'm like, oh. So I thought, you know what, commit to your brief. I'm going to do it. And I said, if life gives you obstacles, you can give up or you can. I love you guys. And I wish they'd said that. They went, one kid looked at me and went, sell drugs. Yeah. This is why we need Heavy Chef, teaching people how to be real entrepreneurs, how to get creative. And tonight is about celebrating the creativity that is in our startup sector. and to recognize and celebrate the 12 startups out of hundreds of entries whose names I am now going to call out. Are you ready to meet them? Woo! Do you want to come and hand out? So we're going to just ask a representative from each one come up. We've got a little gift voucher for you and a gift bag, and let's celebrate them. I'm doing them in alphabetical order. Makoro Koto. Yeah. And also Waka Naka, because they're doing beautiful work. All right. Okay, our first in alphabetical order, please welcome up Kurbon, e-commerce offsetting made simple. They're an e-commerce plugin. Woo! Hey! Congratulations. Very well done. And keep that clapping going. Our next nominee isn't here, I don't think, but incredible initiative, Diski. Soccer boots specially designed to play on gravel soccer pitches. Makoro koto. Then we have Finclusion. They're built... Woo! Here you go, congratulations. Woo! I'm just going to say names now and hope you've read the blurb because there's so much excitement in the room. Next, please welcome Float Pays. Woo! Awesome. Well done. Woohoo! Next we have Frank. Woo! Congratulations. Wow. And now please welcome to the stage Green Scooter. Woo! And next, Naked. Woo! Are they not here? Okay, they're not here. Our next nominee is Parkit. Woo! Congrats on doing a left hand shake. Congratulations. Also not in the room, if I'm not mistaken, our next nominee is Pineapple. Are they? Woohoo! And then we have Sonke. Woo! Jeez, congratulations. Hey. And next, Stitch. Where is Stitch? Here comes Stitch. There you go. Congratulations. And last but not least, Zoe Health. Thank you. Congratulations. Oh, okay. I can feel the nerves. Right. Can we give them a makoro koto? So before we get to announcing who the top 5 startups are, we thought it would be helpful and insightful for you to hear from some of the judges as to what their perspective is on this year's Field of Talent. So I'm going to be inviting some up to stage. We're going to have one little video transfer, and then we're going to have a talk from the CEO of the Heavy Chef Foundation on getting us insight into the entrepreneurial landscape. I know, I did call him the CEO. It's because he's your boss, Fred. All right. So first up, please will you join me in welcoming Carla Thiel, Marketing Manager of Zero South Africa. Carla.
It's such a privilege to be here, not only because of this amazing event, but also because I actually only joined Zero about 4 months ago. So to be asked to participate in tonight's event is really such a treat. So nice to meet all of you. At Zero, what I've learned in the short time is that Zero really cares about small business, and that's really something that's entrenched in everything that we do and all the people that I've met. And it's innately part of who we are. And we recognize the contribution that small businesses are making towards the economy, which is why in turn we support Heavy Chef and the work they are doing in providing SMEs with tools to succeed. And success is what we're here to celebrate tonight. So in the hundreds of applications that came through, I think there were about 500 odd. I spent the weekend, because Fred was so kind to send them on a Friday night and he had feedback on Sunday night. There were, yeah. It was really a privilege just to see the diversity of our country in terms of the applications and the entries, and also the abundance of talent that came through. So there was EdTech, there was women's health, there was carbon credits. It was really, the standard was high, and as a result, the judging was challenging. And thank goodness, I was fortunate enough to be in the company of 7 brilliant minds from various different industries to make sure that we could do it justice. So it's an absolute pleasure to be here with you this evening and to have been part of the top 5 South African Startup Awards with Heavy Chef. So thank you.
I love that. The talent was high and the judging was challenging. That is beautiful. Thank you so much, Carla. Next, we are going to hear from Colleen Harrison, the Marketing Manager of Payfast.
Thanks, Verity. I only go with my renter crowd over there. I love that. Sorry, I love that Fred called them hooligans. Anyway, I completely echo what Carla said. I also spent one Sunday evening going through the list of incredible nominees, and one thing that really stood out for me is how many of the nominations I'd actually heard of before, or know quite well, or even follow on LinkedIn. I quite like LinkedIn. And this just goes to show that our startups are doing a fantastic job at marketing. I'm a marketer. But also that we in South Africa, we're providing the right platforms to give reach to these startups. And I think we have to congratulate Fred and the Heavy Chef team for making an event like this possible so that we can recognize the talent that we've got in this country. So thank you, Fred and the team. I know it's always a... Oh, there you are. No, thank you for really shining a light and giving a voice to our startups, figuratively and literally. I think it's so important that we celebrate the talent that we have here. And this is why Payfast, which was once also a scrappy startup, and is now, I believe, considered a big corporate, is supporting events such as these. Such as the top 5 this award. Our roots are also, like with Zero, deeply entrenched in the startup and SME community. We, again, we weren't a startup that long ago ourselves, but also our solutions serve the SME community because we also believe deeply that our economic prosperity relies on the talent that sits here tonight. So well done to everybody that was finalists today, and good luck.
Thank you, Colleen. Such little nuggets that are coming out, shines a light and gives a voice. I'm gonna be taking these home and incorporating them into future speeches, just so you know. Okay, thank you, Fred. So we are now going to have a short video from our judge chairperson, Zinhle Novazi, just to take us through the judging process this year.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to today's Top 5 Startup in SA. First of all, I want to say congratulations to everyone that was nominated in this year's competition, as well as a special congratulations to our top 12 nominees. I am so sorry I couldn't join you today in Cape Town, but I am there in spirit. Having had the opportunity to judge, I think I'm speaking on behalf of the whole panel of judges today. It was an extremely enlightening experience to sit on this year's panel of judges. In fact, I think that after judging this, we really know that the solution for our country lies in our startup community. I was really excited to see that we had a lot of people in the green economy entering, a rise in the health tech side of things. We had businesses that, had models that were looking at safety for women in South Africa. How can we make South Africa a safe place? So I just want to first of all say congratulations to everyone. Honestly, this is no small feat. I think competitions like this are necessary because we really need to give kudos to you for the brilliant work that you do to make our country a better place. You honestly are solving a lot of the problems that the government is overwhelmed with, whether it be in education, in the health space, in the environment space, really meeting the needs of the community. Second of all, I think this competition is essential because it gives businesses and startups in this very community an opportunity to shine, to give them a platform and raises visibility. Because for me, as a judge, and I'm sure I'm speaking for the rest of the judges, having sat on the panel, you got exposure to different businesses that you really didn't know were in existence before. So this kind of competition gives these startups a platform to shine. So congratulations to everyone. Good luck to our top 12 nominees, and I cannot wait to see the expression on the faces of everyone when we announce our top 5 startups. From Johannesburg, it's Zinke, and thank you for an opportunity to let us judge this year's competition. Thank you.
Woo! When I heard from Johannesburg, I thought I must now say, and now for the weather. I had my live TV moment there. Please, can we give a huge, massive thank you and round of applause to our judges for all the work they've put in. Absolutely incredible. So it is now my pleasure to invite on stage to share insights on this year's research into the entrepreneur sector and the entrepreneur of the future. Please welcome the CEO of the Heavy Chef Foundation, Louis Janse van Rensburg.
Thanks. So I'll be sharing some of the research. The quantitative and qualitative analysis has revealed discrepancies in the data. It's a way to bring the energy down. Thank you, everyone. So the Heavy Chef Foundation, briefly, is the non-profit arm of Heavy Chef. If our mission as an organization, as a social enterprise, is to make entrepreneur education as equitable and accessible as possible, it's important that we have a social impact component. If we want to be the best in creating learning bites for entrepreneurs, we need to be using those learning bites to research, understand, and design the best programs for our entrepreneurs, and especially disconnected entrepreneurs. We like to speak about disconnected entrepreneurs just purely because it keeps us focused on solving the problem. It's to connect entrepreneurs with content, community, and capital and valuable resources. And data underlines all of this. So for the last 4 years, we've been conducting regular ongoing research into the entrepreneur community, using surveys, using analysis of our own transcripts of all the learning bites, and working with our partners to figure out, well, what are the salient things that we need to be focusing on? And with that in mind, I also wanted to echo what Fred and Verity was saying around thank you for our partners for supporting these things, because research and data is a very soft kind of thing, but having the foresight to invest into figuring out what is the thing. We have to take the conversations away from the anecdotes to more a data-driven kind of conversations. So every year we've been releasing research about the entrepreneur education ecosystem in South Africa. We've been doing that on a more regular basis every 4 months, and by January, end of January next year at our Futurist event, we'll be sharing with you research about what we call future entrepreneurs. And I think that's the spirit of an event like tonight. If we think about the top 5 winners in 2017, how far they've come in a 5 to 6 year period, you can imagine the winners of tonight and even those nominated, what's in store for you in 5, 6 years' time. And also, there's so many things changing at the same time. In the Future Entrepreneurs Report that will be released at the end of Jan, there's a particular insight that stood out for us. I'm not sure how many of you have noticed, but the internet is changing quite a lot and has been changing. It's not a static ecosystem. So what was traditionally called Web 1.0 was us just consuming data. We'd go to a website, we'd read what's there, and we'd go away. Then the significant shift happened with platforms and social networks, and we kind of became the data. Our interactions and things were owned by a handful of powerful platforms, so to speak. The next evolution in Web 3.0 is these technologies that you started hearing about a couple of years ago, like blockchain, crypto, NFTs, and so forth. But really what that comes down to is that we as users start owning our data again. And we take ownership of it and we direct it and use it as per our own choice. And the shifts in entrepreneur education is following and mirroring a lot of these evolutions. If you think about where education was some years ago, handful of institutions that you'd go to and get your degree or diploma or certificate or whatever that is. But then social media and the internet came online, and suddenly we could learn from YouTube videos, and we can start going on Zoom calls and all those kind of things. And the shifts that we've started picking up, speaking to entrepreneurs, is entrepreneurs are using words such as, well, we want to direct our own learning. I don't want my certificate to be with an institution. I want someone else to validate my learning. I want my certification and things for me to have control of it, not just sit on some kind of institution's database. These are the same words being used to mirror the language and trends we're seeing in the Web 3.0 space as well. And suddenly what we're realizing is it's a democratization in the truest sense of the word of learning. And that makes us very excited. It has informed a lot of what we're about at Heavy Chef. But I also think it's relevant for entrepreneurs to keep on insisting that learning provided to them isn't just cookie cutter, isn't just on a random YouTube video playlist, but actually let me be more intentional in the way that I direct and think about my learning and share it with others. But also for providers, service providers, brands, educators. The challenge is now not to think about our customers in segments and our entrepreneur community as far as demographics and segments and personas are concerned, but actually try and look at them at the level of the individual and try and personalize it at a hyper-personalization level. These are not easy problems to solve, but the technologies and everything are starting to move in that direction. So the report that we're going to release at the end of January, thanks to the support of Zero once again and our other partners, also validated by our market research partner in on Africa, is going to focus on this and unpack it and reveal all kind of other neat things. We have about 10 insights that we want to share with you. So please keep an eye out for that. We'll certainly announce it to everyone. And as a non-profit, we're making it free for everyone. So there's no paywall, all of that. We make it as accessible as possible. Okay, so that's me. Just wanted to say thank you and give it a bit of a shout out for that.
Thank you, Louis. I must say, every Friday when I get the research mailers, it's incredible the depth of research that the foundation does. And thank you for bringing it to us in bite-sized pieces. It's absolutely incredible. Okay, you've waited long enough. Would you like to meet the top 5 startups? Are you ready? Really, that is like we've had energy here today. We were more excited, I don't know, when I said something random. I've just asked if you'd like to meet the top 5 startups for 2022. That's what we mean. Okay. And just give one more shout out to the universe, who you're hoping is going to win, just so that they get all those extra bits of attention. Let's hear it. Okay, we'll see what's happening there. It's like a magic show. You can tell me later if it worked. Okay, so how we're going to do it is, this is in no particular order. I don't know what's in the bag. It's very carefully audited. As you can see, it's all been done to the highest standards and specifications. I will call the winners up one by one. They will have a few minutes to do their acceptance speech. It's like the Oscars, short and sweet. And they'll be presenting on how their startup is changing the world. And I've been said here, please ensure they know to keep it short. Just, I'll be tapping my foot if it isn't. But we're so excited. We can't wait to hear who they are. Could I have a drum roll, please, for our first winner? Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo! And our first of the top 5 startups for 2022 is Frank. Congratulations.
Thanks.
There we go. I don't know if anyone's taking pictures.
Okay. Thanks.
There we go.
Thanks, guys. Sure, it was a tough competition this year. Didn't give us too much of a chance, but great. Yeah, we're an investment platform, really trying to make it simple for anyone to start investing. We're talking about changing the world. We just start with South Africa. I think we've got enough problems. Yeah, South Africa is one of the most unequal countries when it comes to wealth inequality. People are just, there's a lot of problems. There's a lot of reasons for the wealth inequality, which I won't get into now, but one of the reasons is the fact that, the rich keep getting richer, the people in the middle, those even with disposable income don't have access to high quality investment products. They're not good with their money. That's really what we're trying to solve, help people get access to quality products and be better with their money. Thanks, guys.
Woohoo! Okay. Drum roll, please. Our next winner is Pocket. Woo! Congratulations.
Awesome.
Hey.
Thank you. Thanks. It's really an honor to be here. I've had a couple glasses of wine, so I'm not sure if that helps or makes it worse. But yeah, it's even more of an honor just looking at the stature of all the other startups that competed. Makolo koto to them. Yeah, it even amazes me, looking back in the past year, when you put a bunch of bright guys, hardworking, in a room together, what you can actually produce over 12 months. I studied civil engineering, and in engineering we say it's 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration to pass engineering. And I think with startups, it's 10% inspiration, 80% perspiration, and 10% desperation. And the desperation really, it just it helps you to persevere and keep going. And there's been times with Pockets where it just made sense to really give up in that. But the past year, really, it feels like it's a plane that's bouncing on the runway, and the past couple of months feels like a plane that's leaving the runway. Yeah. So really, thanks to Heavy Chef, and thanks to the team and everyone involved. Yeah.
Congratulations. Wow, okay. Whew. Third one, drum roll with energy and enthusiasm, please. Our third of the top 5 startups for 2022 is Zoe. Woo! Thank you. Thank you. Nice. Yes, it is.
Thank you very much, Heavy Chef. This is such an honor. If you're wondering what Zoe Health does, we are a women's health startup. What we are trying to do is provide affordable, caring care for women. So download our app and you're able to actually speak to physicians for free. I'm turning this into a marketing campaign. But Essentially, we want to make healthcare more accessible to women. We want healthcare to be more caring to women. And we want more money to go into women's health research. Thank you.
Congratulations. Oh, I'm inspired. Are you inspired by what we're hearing up here? Absolutely incredible. This is your second last drum roll. Let's hear it. Woo! And our fourth winner of the top 5 startups for 2022 is Float Pays. Woo! There you go. Congratulations.
Wow, wow, wow. What a surprise. Sure, I didn't expect to be up on the stage speaking. Float Pays for us is all about financial inclusion and well-being for employees. And that's not only in South Africa, the dream is to take it across Africa. And we do that through on-demand pay or earned wage access, so helping people who don't have an option when they run out of money. We do that through free education around finance and budget and planning tools, and our financial savings products, which bring people in a place where they can move from debt to savings. So we're on a mission. Thanks for the fuel that this has given us. Thanks for the recognition. Thank you to Heavy Chef.
Cool. Thank you, my man.
Oh. Okay, it's the last one. I know the nerves are high. So let's give our best drum roll as we hear our last winner of the top 5 startups. I always hate people who do that, and they're like, but now I know why they do it. It's a good feeling. Okay, and our last winner of the top 5 startups for 2022 is Coburn!
Yeah, I've got a bit of imposter syndrome here. Thank you so much for the recognition. Yeah, so Coburn, we're a climate tech startup. We want to do our best in reducing South Africa's retail carbon emissions. We do this with, our launch product was an e-commerce carbon offsetting plugin. So it allows merchants and customers to reduce the emissions of the products sold online. Also, we harness carbon credits, and the great part of carbon credits is they have this twin benefit of also having socioeconomic impact. So whilst we are reducing CO2, we're also empowering communities in South Africa. Thank you so much for this honor. It is I'm a bit, thank you.
Oh, congratulations. Whew. Is that us? Let's give another round of applause to our top 5 startups. Wow. You can all breathe. You are moments away from more music from Divine, from networking, getting to share ideas, to connect, and to use this space to elevate. I've lost them. I've lost my crowd. Was it something I said, or is it because there's no wine? I know. Okay, we are nearly done. Bear with me, the last few minutes. So we've prayed for people to win. Yeah, we have. We've seen people win. And I'm sure you'll agree that being part of this here tonight feels like a win. Are you happy you were here, that you've taken the time to be here? Absolutely. So, yes. Woo! So there's a story of a man who loved winning. He wanted to win at all costs. And the thing he wanted to win most, that I think many people want to win, is the lottery. It's like, if I could just win the lottery, my problems would be solved. Yeah? And so every Saturday, religiously, he would sit in front of that television watching those numbers being drawn, and he wouldn't win. But he'd be back the next Saturday, watch those numbers, and he wouldn't win. And this went on for months. And eventually one Saturday, after again not winning, he looked up at the sky in frustration and said, "Why? Why do you never let me win?" and a voice came down from above and said, "You might want to buy a ticket." So I just want to say congratulations, makoro koto, to our 12 nominees, to our 5 winners, for buying their tickets, for saying yes to their idea, for saying yes to having a positive impact. And you heard the stories up here. They are solving problems that we can't wait for other people to solve. And they're saying yes to that, and they're not giving up when it gets hard, when it feels like that airplane's not going to quite take off, but you stick with it, and what happens? It takes off. And I know that we're going to be seeing huge success stories coming out of each and every one of you over the years to come. So thank you for buying that ticket. I also want to thank our amazing partners for buying their tickets, to being part of this event, for making this possible, because we could not do it without them. And just to remind you who they are, we have Xero, Payfast, Ex Nihilo, and Workshop17. Thank you for making tonight possible. I also want to thank Fred, the entire team at Heavy Chef. You cannot believe the level of work and effort that goes into this. The tech team, everyone for pulling this together for us. Thank you for letting us buy our tickets to be here and creating tickets for success for every single startup in this country, and creating a platform, as we said, to shine a light on them and for them to find their voice. And so I'm really excited to see who's here next year. Am I back next year? It's always important you get the booking before you leave stage. This is a top speaker tip. I'll see you next year because I've just booked myself. But thank you for being here. Thank you for making this a winning evening. Divine, thank you for the music we're going to love. Waka naka, makoro koto. Let's have fun. Top 5 startups are done.
Welcome.